The Su-57, designated Felon by NATO, is the first Russian aircraft designed from the outset to incorporate stealth characteristics and fulfill a multi-role fifth-generation combat role. Developed by Sukhoi and produced by the United Aircraft Corporation, the Su-57 has been promoted for over a decade as Russia's answer to advanced Western platforms. In August 2025, the Russian Ministry of Defense once again boosted its profile by claiming that the Su-57 has been successfully armed with hypersonic weapons. This announcement came via an official statement from a high-ranking officer in the Russian Aerospace Forces and was published by Krasnaya Zvezda, the military's own media outlet. While this claim is consistent with previous announcements dating back several years, there is still no public or independently confirmed evidence of a hypersonic missile being successfully deployed by an operational Su-57 in combat. Russian state-run sources, including TASS, reported in 2023 that a prototype hypersonic air-to-surface missile had been developed specifically to fit within the Su-57's internal weapons bays. The missile was described as small-sized and compatible with stealth carriage. Despite these claims, no photographs, flight tests, or deployment data have been made public. There have also been speculations that the Su-57 might be adapted to carry scaled versions of the Kh-47 M2 Kinjal missile, a large hypersonic air-launched ballistic missile derived from the Iskander system. However, the Kinjal is currently operational only on the MiG-31K, and its large size, weight, and launch profile would likely require major modifications to the Su-57's airframe, structure, and avionics. No such modifications have been confirmed, and no test launches of the Kinjal from a Su-57 have been documented. The mention of hypersonic capability may serve more of a psychological or strategic messaging role rather than reflecting actual combat capability. Russian authorities have repeatedly made such declarations without supporting technical disclosures, making it difficult to determine whether the missile systems are in prototype, testing, or serial production stages. Until verified testing or usage data is available, the presence of hypersonic armaments on the Su-57 should be considered an unconfirmed development. The Su-57 program itself has been burdened by delays, technical shortcomings, and industrial bottlenecks since its inception. Initially projected to enter service in the early 2010s, the aircraft did not begin limited serial production until 2019. By mid-2025, only about 30 Su-57s have been built, and far fewer are believed to be combat-ready. Multiple issues have plagued the aircraft during its development, ranging from materials and electronics shortages to problems with propulsion, stealth shaping, and avionics. One of the most critical unresolved issues is the propulsion system. The aircraft currently uses the AL-41F1 engine, a heavily modified version of the engine used in the Su-35. This powerplant lacks the performance and stealth optimization required for fifth-generation platforms. It does not support full-range supercruise, which is the ability to fly at sustained supersonic speeds without afterburners. The AL-41F1 also has a larger infrared and radar signature than more modern powerplants. The Izdeliye 30 engine, which has been under development for over a decade, is intended to solve these problems. However, it remains in testing and has not entered service in operational squadrons. Aircraft equipped with this new engine are limited to experimental testbeds. Another significant design compromise is the aircraft's radar cross-section. The Su-57 does include internal weapons bays, canted surfaces, radar-absorbent coatings, and faceted fuselage elements. However, the aircraft's frontal radar signature is reportedly higher than advertised, and the side and rear aspect signatures are significantly larger than those of true stealth aircraft. Key weaknesses include the lack of serpentine intake ducts, which leaves the engine compressor blades visible to radar. Similarly, exposed panel seams and access hatches compromise stealth integrity. These shortcomings suggest that the aircraft's low observability is limited primarily to the forward arc, making it vulnerable to detection from many angles and reducing its survivability in contested airspace. Avionics and mission systems represent another area where the Su-57 lags behind expectations. Although the aircraft is equipped with the N036 Bielka AESA radar suite and includes both X-band and L-band radar arrays for search and tracking, integration with other onboard sensors appears incomplete. The degree of sensor fusion, how data from radar, infrared search and track systems, and electronic warfare equipment is merged into a single tactical picture, is not comparable to systems used by Western aircraft like the F-35. Russian sources have also stated that the Su-57 will eventually support advanced electronic warfare, artificial intelligence for target recognition, and cooperative engagement with unmanned aerial vehicles. As of 2025, none of these features have been demonstrated or confirmed in operational use. Combat deployment of the Su-57 has been extremely limited. While some reports claim that the aircraft has been used in the war in Ukraine, its missions appear to be highly restricted. Aircraft have allegedly launched long-range standoff missiles from within Russian-controlled airspace, avoiding contested zones entirely. There are no public records or confirmed engagements showing the Su-57 entering areas defended by enemy fighters or integrated air defense systems. This further supports the assessment that the platform is not ready for frontline roles in high-intensity environments. The industrial base supporting the Su-57 has also suffered under the weight of sanctions and isolation. After 2014 and more severely following 2022, Russian aerospace firms lost access to imported microchips, avionics components, and advanced machining systems. Substitute systems developed domestically or sourced from less advanced suppliers have reduced the technological edge of the platform. Aircraft have also faced quality control issues, and the low production rate is unlikely to improve significantly without broader structural changes to the Russian defense industry. Foreign interest in the Su-57 has also declined sharply over time. India, once a co-development partner in the fifth-generation fighter aircraft (FGFA) program, formally withdrew in 2018. Indian defense authorities cited inadequate stealth characteristics, lack of transparency, insufficient avionics maturity, and slow progress. Since then, Russia has promoted the aircraft for export, but has failed to secure any large orders. Only Algeria is believed to have signed a limited contract for a handful of units, possibly as few as 6. Even this deal remains unofficial and unverified by independent monitoring sources. The Su-57 is sometimes referred to by Russian officials as a key enabler of next-generation warfare, and efforts have been made to portray it as a symbol of technological independence and national strength. However, this portrayal is contradicted by the platform's slow development, technical limitations, and lack of deployment on modern battlefields. The aircraft does include some innovative features, such as the use of composite materials and a multiband radar suite, but these do not compensate for its deficiencies in propulsion, stealth, mission systems, and data integration. As of today, the Su-57 remains a platform with potential, but that potential has not been realized in practice. It is not yet a fully functional fifth-generation aircraft by global standards, and its limited numbers, incomplete systems, and lack of battlefield validation place it behind its intended peers. While it may eventually evolve into a more capable fighter with sustained investment and modernization, its current form reflects a mix of ambition, political signaling, and incomplete execution.